Hello, hello, hello. I was halfway through a video and got interrupted, so now I've got to go over the whole thing again, and then I don't know whether I've been over it or not. I've already had a couple of Ks myself beforehand, but anyway, a lot of things to talk about. Dark energy, dark matter, does it exist? Why can't science figure it out? I watched them on YouTube, they're yatty, all about stuff, and they show, they've got all the puzzles to form the picture, but they can't get the picture in their head and put it all together. And they never will if they keep thinking they live on a spinning ball. Because how can there be a singularity, a point of beginning in this big round universe around our ball? But the whole model's here. And if you understand, the centre of the Arctic has it all. We all live in a closed system. Bill Nye has told us that, isn't he? And they say, oh, he's not a scientist, but hey, why is he on there talking NASA stuff and all the science? Hey? And then other videos you might catch him saying, oh, I'm an engineer. Okay, well, what the hell are you doing on there talking about space, cosmology and everything else? Telling us we're all idiots. That is as idiots. So there, it all starts there. Our whole existence started there. Probably the size of an apple or less. Physics, science, they realise it all must come back to a point of singularity, a beginning. And it does. And this is dark energy. It's always flowing from that centre point. Our whole existence is always flowing out of here. All the energy is coming out of here. It's all being recycled back to the sun and being amplified out. The human brain can't get that in their head. But it's there. We all exist from that one single spot. Amplification. The black hole. They know it's in the Milky Way. They know it all began back in the Milky Way. That is the Milky Way down this edge, the side of the vacuum. The counter force. And everything is moving out. And there you have red shift, blue shift. Same thing. Oh, the universe must be expanding. We think it's expanding because redshift seems to keep moving away. Well, of course it does. It's moving away, continuously moving out. Dark energy moves everything out. The light, the sun, the frequencies, thanks to the sun, you've got the light. So the red is always in the distance, moving out. It's always moving out. You're standing here, getting blue, red in the distance. You come here, it's all relative to the observer. Once again, he's going to get an image of back here. This is all going to be moved out, further away. We all live in our own horizons. Physicists are stating that now. Blue shift, red shift. It's continuously going out. From the sun, from here. This is God. All these phrases in the Bible, all these words are all related back to a single point. They call that the God point. That should be the God particle back in there. The God particle back in there. Solar. Sol, sun or peace. Sounds like Ra, sun. Solar. Everything with A-H on the end. Elohim. I won't go there, but it's all back there. So, looking down on Earth, there it is, centre, the black hole, the vacuum, down here. Now, Ken Wheeler, I've been watching some of the videos lately, and he's not getting a few things right. He's thinking the centre of his ring magnets, when he's using their ferrule fluid, what's it called? Ferro fluid, you know, the Farah fluid. Farah fluid, is it? Yeah. And you see the depth of projection, the 3D imaging. He's got less than a millimetre of oil in there, and you can see the deep holographic projection. So you can imagine from there, this is all a holographic projection. He can show depth there with 0.5 millimetre. It's the same setup here. It's all projected out. Now, he's playing around with the magnets, and he's calling this the centre here, centre of convergence. And he says, this is what happens, you get this down here. Well, he's right about that, because that's the Milky Way. That's coming down here. But that's not a magnetism. You can't get that till the electrical circuit's begun. The pressure's built up. So when you start spiralling water, vortexing water, and then it sucks back down. That's when the sun is created, when it sucks back down. So you don't get this divergence, counter force, till this is built up. So in the ring magnet, he will not have that. He will not have this. He's got the divergence in the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field out here, the divergence. That's the electrical counter force. This is how it works. And in there, in the black hole, in the centre, he calls it state of inertia. He doesn't call that, I think he might, state of inertia. Well, that's his state of inertia. It's down here. Nah, it's in there. There's nothing going on inside. There's nothing inside there. All the action is around here. And you can see that in his ferrofluid, in those ring magnets. All the action is on the perimeter. This is where the Milky Way is. We see in the sky. All the stars are around the sun. It's the same thing. All the action's around, around the spiral, and mainly around the sun. It's just how the Roman Colosseum looks too. All the action around here. The sun's back in here. Back at the edge of the black hole. Let's say this is the black hole, and it all gets sucked back in here. There's the black hole there, and the sun's here. The sun sits back, and you think, well, that doesn't make sense. But then you think, hey, science knows the sun's way the hell out there in the universe, and it comes all the way through to Earth. Well, it does sit back here because everything seems to work. There's the black hole in the middle there. Just sits on the perimeter. That's where all the action is. It's created the sun. That downward force. And then you come over to here. What have we got here? This is the Stonehenge. Look at the design of it. Look at the sun sitting back in here, and they've got this U shape. Like that. Because it's shielding the sun. You say that's the breastplate. There's no sun out this side. This is night time. The sun gets shone through here. And that was the causeway showing the solstice. 21st of July. And look what has right angles. The equinox. It's even got the opening. The same opening I've been showing you on my videos. Between the two sky rotations. There's the opening. There's the opening in their mound. They've got a mound all the way around here. It's the same thing. And the way all this is, these are all placed. It's just like this. Roman Colosseum, same thing. All the action around the Milky Way. We get the moon. Well, you'd have the moon back here. That would be full moon, which we see in our sky out here. There's the full moon. You get your shadowing. Same thing. It's all there right in your faces. You can't figure it out. You think you live on a spinning ball. Get rid of that. What do we got? Black hole, dark matter. So there's the black hole. Dark matter is in there. Then you've got the dark energy expanding. Well, they think the universe is expanding, but it's not. Just like this office. If I put a speaker in the middle of the room, we're going to have sound waves flowing out. Those sound waves aren't going to make my office grow bigger, expand it. No. It's not expanding. They should be using amplifying. Amplifying from the state of origin. Amplification, continuous amplifying. But it only goes so far. All they're saying is this go to there. This is their night sky. The real night sky. Because through time-lapse videos, you see the gap, and then you see a separate sky, which is all reflected off here. That image out to there, this image is up to there. And it's all there. What have we got? At rest. At rest, at rest. Black hole, centre of the black hole. It's at rest. There's nothing going, at rest. Nothing going on. This takes you back to religion. That's the secrets of higher consciousness. It's getting in that relaxed state of rest to ascend. It's a long story. So, not sure we've gone over all this stuff now. Einstein's greatest blunder, he died not really understanding it, but you know, Einstein's field equation brought him to thinking the expanding universe should be traced back to a centre point of collapse. And he was right. Back there. He initially knew that the universe expanded, but things didn't quite work out. Well, because it's not continuously expanding. No idea. Expands to that point, then comes back down. It's continuously going like this. Like that, actually. Then he named it later on in life cosmological constant. Then back in bad here somewhere they called it something else. Basically the balancing, the expansion, the projection, balancing. Basically the balancing of the expansion. See, it goes so far, but it doesn't keep going, does it? Field of amplification. So they are calling it dark energy from the Big Bang. They're calling it some Big Bang that happened way out there, and we're just getting all this energy coming off it billions of years afterwards. What a load of garbage. Video. Dark energy probably doesn't exist. Check out that video. Right, so there's the planets, the way they sit up here, out like this. It's a no-brainer. Further up and out, the bigger the track. Smaller the track as they come down to the sun. We see it up here in this sort of formation in our sky because it's blown up, blown out. Right, waves, solar tides. So all the magnetic fields, what you have to understand is what science is going to tell you, that the magnetic fields are the solar winds. You read about the solar winds, it's all described. Convergence here, passing down to the earth. I'll read some here. The solar waves, called solar tides, propagate to the ground as they travel around the globe. Strong support for this theory has now been presented in a study by the US-Japanese team of scientists spearheaded by University of Hawaii, UH. Professor Kevin Hamilton, interim director of the UH Climate Research Centre, International Pacific Research Centre. Hamilton's reasoned that if the proposed explanation was correct, then the pressure variations should be affected systematically by topography. Since mountains cast a kind of shadow for the atmospheric wave as it propagates westward following the sun, why atmospheric pressure peaks at 10 AM and 10 PM in the tropics? They don't really know why at that time, but there's your 12-hour cycle, isn't it? Your 12-hour cycle takes you to this. Well, that should be another video. I'm going to go into a lot of stuff here. I'll leave it for another video. Now, Ken Willie is saying something else. I've just missed it. Oh, right. Okay. Here we go. I was trying to figure out what makes the magnetic field come to the equator. Besides the fact this is dry, thin air, and moist, dense air, dry, thin air, moist, dense air, humidity, dry and thin out there. Well, these are his words basically. Accelerating, they're not accelerating to each other, can they? Because they're both the same when they're both the same. Polarities, both the same. They're both positive. So they're not going to be attracted, are they? They repel each other. But they're racing towards this point. And this point, accelerating towards no pressure point in counter space. They don't accelerate towards one another because they're both the same, both positive. They move towards 0 point, energy, lowest pressure medium. And this is what happens in the tropics. It's a lower pressure. The rising heat, tropical air, rises and creates the lower pressure up here. And that's what they're doing. And he's shown in his videos, he's shown, like this, they've got the magnet and the magnet here under a ferrofluid, and you're getting these fields. It's going, how's it going, like that or something, I think. Alright. But it creates this other point in between them, which is nothing. This is from one magnet, this is from another, but it creates this point, this low pressure point. And this is what the Earth's doing between here and here. It's creating the magnetic fields coming there, coming up here and up here, is creating this low pressure point towards the pressure point of counter space, he calls it. And that's what's drawing these two fields together. So it all adds up. You know, and all this adds up in electrical engineering too. It comes up here, goes negative, shoots in the opposite. So there you have it. And there's all this information in the atmospheric. So I'll read some more specifically. The observer on the ground experiences the Coriolis effect as a deflection of the relative motion to the right in the northern hemisphere. Everything's moving, see? East to west, as it does, and to the left if you're in the southern hemisphere. Of particular significance is this simple model of wind pressure relationship and the fact that the geostrophic wind blows in a direction parallel to the isobars. They just describe exactly my model in here. You want to check it out. It's in Britannica. What was the question? Okay, I haven't got the question in there. But look it up. Solar winds, some of the solar winds. So we got here blows in a direction parallel to the isobars with a low pressure on the observer's left as he looks downwind in the northern hemisphere and on his right in the southern hemisphere. Ground sees measures only the relative motion of the atmosphere because then they start spinning it. So, oh, you're looking down from outer space, and this is that. They've got no idea what it looked like down from outer space. They're trying to explain why you see what you see by saying, oh, well, if you look at it, but they're just screwing the whole flipping story. You see what you see because that's what's there. It's exactly how it works here. Everything is moving in the sky in the one direction. Then they go on to tell you a story about, well, the moon's 50 minutes delayed because, the moon goes the same direction, follows the direction of the Earth. So it takes 50 minutes for the Earth to catch up. Really? Oh, why is that? How'd that come about? Oh, they just make up the story, that's it? Yeah? Well, why is it 50 minutes late? Well, that's the story we came up with. No, the sun is 50 minutes delayed. The moon is 50 minutes delayed. Because you've got the sun here at the centre doing a smaller rotation. But I sit there watching these guys on the talking science, and it's just driving me nuts. It's like you're a ghost. You go, hey, hello, I've got the whole picture here. They can't fault it. They deny all this stuff, but they've spelt it all out in the solar winds. Well, it does accept that the solar winds are the magnetic fields. And you've got the positive there, negative here. Does that make sense, doesn't it? Why they think there's the two. They know Earth is negative and it's positive up here. bonkers. Don't know if I've been over that, but anyway, I've got some more stuff on here. If I can, I didn't sort that before I jumped online. The cold temperatures in the polar regions cause air to descend to create the high pressure. So you've got the high pressure, see? The cold temperatures in the polar regions cause air to descend to create the high pressure, a process called subsidence. Just as the warm temperatures around the equator cause air to rise to create the low pressure. Yeah. What do you call it? Point and counter space. It's low pressure. It's there. Here's a picture. Look, check this out. Terraforming Mars. When you're trying to convince the masses that they can inhabit a light in the sky, but you fundamentally understand the requirements of having a container for a gaseous pressurized environment to breathe. Closed dome. Redshift is a key concept for astronomers. The term can be understood literally. The wavelength of light is stretched, so the light is seen as shifted towards the red part of the spectrum. Something similar happens to sound waves when a source of sound moves relative to an observer. See? Moving relative to the observer. If I rushed off here, I'd still get this image. Red would move out there, so I'd keep moving. There's that silly garbage about the sun that says the lunar days is 50 minutes longer than the solar day because the moon revolves around the earth in the same direction as the earth rotates around its axis. So it takes the earth an extra 50 minutes to catch up to the moon. Really? Why? How? Why is that? Because the earth rotates through two tidal bulges. I'll go into that, I think it was time. So we go through two tidal bulges. Because the earth rotates through the two tidal bulges every lunar day, coastal areas experience two high and two low tides every 24 hours and 50 minutes. See, let's clear some space here, so I think the video is about to run out. Look at this. S for what? S for solar. Solar. Put a line through it like that. Let's put earth through it like that. Okay? So there we'll lie it down. So there's earth.